Okay. Let's see if we are coming through. Good. Twitch is coming through great. Let's check the sound. Yep, that sounds great. Good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We'll get started here in about a couple of minutes. Thanksgiving is around the corner. Let's see. All right, so good. People are jumping in now. Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Blender 3D and Lightwave discussions. We're gonna have some fun. New Lightwave 5, not Lightwave, but Blender 5.0. Blender 3D 5.0 is out. I figured I'll share some of the new features in Blender 3D. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to share with you anybody who wants to come on live and share. Here we go. I'm going to put to share live. Typing this in on the other monitor. To share live. You are welcome to come on to this link here to share live. Okay, let's see. Good. All right. To share live, come and join us. 5.0 just came out this week. Pretty exciting. I'm loving what I'm seeing in version 5. I'm loving it a lot. There's a lot of improvement in terms of speed and all that stuff. So we'll cover some of it. Okay, yep, numbers are jumping up. Welcome, everybody. Here we go, looking at the chat boxes here. And Mac Nonsense, welcome. Can never figure out Twitch because I've got a bunch of people on here already, but they're not showing up in the stream chat. So come on and say hello. Tell us where you're from, what the weather is like in your area. All right, come on to join us live. There's the link there. Okay, let's see. All right, looking good. Okay, good. More people are jumping in. Fantastic. Welcome to the Blender 3D and Lightwave discussions. So, actually, let me go ahead and share my screen. What I want to do is bring this on over. Cool. Before I share my screen. All right, go to share it now. And let's go ahead and share the entire screen. That's very interesting. There we go. And I want to make sure I share the right screen here, which is that one right there. All right, switches on me. Very good. All right, cool. Good morning. Okay, for those who just came in, anybody who would like to come on and share live, go on and follow this link over to the StreamYard chat room, which is going to put you on live so that you can share your screen. Hey, Chris. Chris is back. Howdy, man. Good to see you. So I put the chat, Chris, in the chat box. I placed the link to come on live and share. So go ahead and follow that. You'd like to share. All right. So he says, StreamYard's being a little slow today. Odd, see you too. Oh, okay. They think you meant something else. No share today? Okay. All right. No worries. There it is. So the link is in the chat box. Anybody wants to come and share. But welcome, Bad Hair Day. We don't have to see your face. We'll just kind of like, see your interface. Bad Hair Day. Those are some Bad Hair Day is kind of like could give hairstylists good ideas for future styling. Good morning, David Glenn. All right, David, I am going to put the link up here for you to jump on live. And there we are. So is everybody getting ready for Thanksgiving? What are we doing for Thanksgiving this year? Actually, put in the chat box what are the plans for Thanksgiving? Nothing. So Chris says nothing. Well, I usually get several invites every year. So, and it says just sitting around. Hey, okay, David is here. David, I'm adding you to the stream. And your camera is white, by the way, but you're aware. So it's like white out on your screen.
Yeah, I tried to fix that.
All right, good. Yeah, I've got, as I mentioned, for Thanksgiving, I usually get 2 or 3 invites, but one of the people that normally invite me has moved out of state. The other one invited me, and I usually get something else coming up, but we'll see. So I've got something to do. I just got back from Death Valley. I'm teaching my Death Valley workshop. I should probably share some of that with you guys. I know this is the Blender broadcast, but I get excited about some of the photography that I take.
Go ahead. I love the desert. Remember, I used to live there.
Yeah. And not only that, but I can use these images for Blender, for backgrounds in Blender.
That's not the one I wanted. Hang on a second.
Here, let me. I want to.
Go ahead and show your thing.
Yeah, I think I am sharing my screen, right? So you should be able to see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, cool. All right, so I will turn off. Let's see what we got. Chris is making nice ships. Oh yeah, so these ships are AI driven. So these ships, I went into Google's AI and told Google's AI to give me a 3/4 view, a top view, a front view of a ship. Here, I'll show you this. And I love the Google engines because you can once it creates it, it'll keep that ship and then modify aspects of the ship based on your prompts, right? If we have time, I can probably share that with you.
Oh, there it is.
Now you can see me. Okay, cool. So David, yeah, good. David is here, but and your monitor is sitting there. Good. I can always click that later.
Yeah.
So I tried. I gave it several prompts. Here's one, which looks too much like a modern, airplane. And then I started to play around. But I wanted something with a muted background because when I can bring these into AI or into an AI engine that will create a 3D object of this. So all this is Google, which is only doing images, right? I can take these images and bring it into Triple AI, which is what I use, and actually produce this through its AI as a 3D object. The problem is that the geometry flow isn't always as perfect as I like. So I'll only use it as a reference where I can recreate the object and perfect it to what I'm looking for. So here's another version of it. So it's kind of fun to play with. So I did several different versions. I kind of partial to this one a little bit too, but I think the first one I showed you might be the one I'll go with, which will be that one there. So I think I'll go with something like this, and then I'll modify this. So from here, I'll definitely change this up and all just alter it so it's going to be something completely different than what AI gave me, right? So I see it as an idea engine. It just gives me ideas where to go, and then I can take that and modify it and move it in any direction that I want. But what I like about this is I'm loving the grout patterns on the surface of the ship. I'm liking the greebles and the places on there. It's giving me really good ideas about how to establish greebles if I decided to do something in this direction. DJ Sharpcut, welcome. Oh, DJ Sharpcut. Yeah, that's right. I did it right. So welcome. Let's see who's here in the chat stream is showing Chris Dawson, David Glenn, DJ Sharpcut, and Magnon. So only people who actually talk in the chat gets displayed in the chat, but everybody who's here is not being shown in the chat. Okay, let's see. Talking about Twitch, by the way. So yeah, I'll utilize some of these designs here to build something. I'm kind of liking this design, but I already have some ideas how I might want to go with this. We'll see. So what was I talking about? I was talking about Death Valley. So let me save this. I'm in Bridge, Adobe Bridge. And Bridge has got this favorites and folders. I'm in the folders right now. Spaceship exploration folder. I'm going to go over to favorites, which favorites are my shortcuts of my folders. And I'm going to drag this one over to over to favorites. And now I can always access that folder anytime. Nano Banana, here's some stuff we're doing for my character. It's my Blender AI class at Studio Arts, and these are some of the stuff we were playing around with. In fact, these are what the students came up with, and then we took this from Nano Banana, right? We took this from Nano Banana, brought it into an AI engine that produces 3D objects, and then we animated the character and using Blender, right? So this is so the students came up with some crazy stuff. It's kind of fun. And then in the end, this is all done in Blender. I think those werewolves were some of mine. Someone came up with a Claude Van Damme character, and this is what the Google AI has given us, which is Gemini, right? The Claude Van Damme. So, but half the students didn't get it, and I said, no. Claude Van Damme had a movie where he does the splits between two bikes or something crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, but just to share, because I was out of town, which is why in Death Valley, which is why we didn't have a meeting last time, I'll share with you. Some of the stuff. The cloud formations were fabulous. I think I can use some of it for, for some 3D projects. So I'll share. Let me go over to my proper folder. There we go. That one there, new images, Death Valley, November 2025, and I'll just show the work in progress. I guess I can show you the JPEG versions. It's working on caching these right now. But the clouds, we get a little bit of a storm passing by Death Valley when we went, and we picked up the clouds, and the clouds were just fabulous. They were just absolutely fabulous.
So you embrace the bad weather. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
avoid.
Well, well, DJ Shoka says thanks. I like what I'm seeing with Lightwave 26. Good. New ocean generator, wheel simulator. Yeah, well, Blender's got ocean has had ocean generator built into it forever. Just as a comparison, and I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, so this is the when I go to Death Valley, we go twice a year. We go once in April and once in November. Why twice a year? Because the lighting is completely different, and the lighting shows a different character to the landscape at those seasons. So April is when the sun was when we have the longer hours during the day, and the sunlight is straight up, and we get longer days, right? And the sunlight is just different. It's brighter, it's whiter. The shadows aren't as long, but it gives you a different look at the landscape. And when we go to the November months for Death Valley, that's where we change the clocks again. The lighting, it stays low in the southern hemisphere, and it's this warm, long shadows. I think this time of year is the best year for Death Valley for lighting. And it gives a whole another look at the landscape. So I'll do the workshops twice a year. So anyways, going back to this, these were taken with my medium format digital camera, the Fuji 50S Mark II. As another example, very painterly. And there's another example. See that the skies are just it's very rare that we get this in Death Valley. Normally it's nothing but blue skies. There are no clouds in the sky when we go. So this is the first year in years I've seen something like this. So I enjoyed photographing it. All right, a little bit of texture detail, just to kind of give you an idea of the ability of the medium format camera. Here I'm gonna go to fill the screen, get in close and look, get in real close, and you get the sharpness and the detail and the tonal range, the values and the tonal range that exist in here. You have to learn how to produce your work all over again in Photoshop, because when you do a contrast adjustment curve, like to make your blacks darker and your whites whiter, in Photoshop, the tones barely move with a medium format sensor image. There's so much more information in it that it just barely moves. Like if you do a contrast adjustment curve on the 35 millimeter sensor image, or image produced by a 35 millimeter sensor, you get strong blacks and strong whites. You get a nice little poppy image, right? But with medium format, it barely moves. So there's a lot more information in there, which means there's a lot more opportunities to produce a greater dynamic range image, more beautiful image. Look at the details in there, all right? We found one of the abandoned trains at the Rhyolite, and we were photographing some of the textures on there. Let's see if I've got. I'll show you. Let's go to depth. There we go. So this is one I haven't produced yet. So you're looking at the raw Fuji files here, no manipulation. So that's one. That's Death Valley Junction. You hit this little hotel before you go down into the valley, and I always like this shot. Every time I come to Death Valley, I stop to see what the lighting and shadow is doing to this door here, And I photographed this door many, many times, but never with my medium format camera. So I made it a point to get there and get that detail. Right? You get in there, the detail is just amazing. It needs work, but I'll get to it. I bracket all my shots with various exposures. Here's some of the landscape stuff. I'll just kind of scroll through real quick. Here, I'll even pull this to the side so we can see a little bit of a wider view. All right, you can see I bracket these shots with the door, then we get more of the clouds. So the cloud formations were just fabulous.
Yeah.
And
have you ever thought about taking some of this stuff with a camera that gives you a 360? Because you can do, you can make some really great stuff that you can use within Blender.
Yeah, so do it. So what you're talking about is doing a doing an HDR image for backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
That was always very, very beautiful.
There's several ways that you can do it. I use a camera, but you could also use Photoshop to create one. I think if you can get everything around you, and it'd make a nice, because that would make a nice environment for inside of Blender. I think
right,
it'd be perfect. And heck, maybe you can monetize some of that stuff.
Yeah, but it's already done. We've got it. I mean, remember we got here. I'll show you. We've got the site has already done that. All right, so we've got, and you already know. You should know. You've been in my classes, so
yeah, Polyhaven, yes.
Yeah, they've done that already. So, and this is all free. This is people went out and created HDR images or assets. So assets are HDRs, textures, or models, right? We will probably use a model in a tutorial we'll do today, but we go to their textures, not textures, but HDRIs, and here they all are, right?
Yeah.
All these different agents. So they went out, we'll go to the outdoor one. They went out and they photographed outdoor with what you said, 360-degree view, and produced a HDR image for backdrops. And to be quite honest, I'm just not interested in doing that. It's a lot of work, unless it's going to be for a special project. If it's going to be for a client project, and the client, just has to have a particular location, then I'll do it. But other than that, but basically I can put on I've got the wide angle lens. I can do panoramic shots. So basically how you're doing it is, if you don't have a special camera that does a 360 for you, you're basically taking panels. You're going to stitch it all together. So I'll probably go vertical. Like for this scene here, if we say the 35 millimeter vertical shot ends right about where my cursor is moving up and down, and do a half frame overlap, snap, 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 all the way around me, then I can have Photoshop stitch it all together. Now, the HDR aspects of it won't be there unless you actually do several shots of each individual frame.
Or use a proper camera, which is expensive.
Well, yeah, if you buy the camera that does it for you, yes, it's very expensive, but you can do it with your current camera. That's my point. You can do it with your iPhone or something. iPhones will be ideal because what you want is a very wide angle lens, right? So do your panorama. Actually, they do it in software. You just kind of put your camera at one location, push the button, and turn your body around. And then the iPhone and even the Android cameras have software that'll just stitch it all together for you.
I think there's even some AI that will mimic a lot of what it sees and will build yourself.
Oh yeah, there's an AI program. I gotta find it. I think I have my bookmark that will do backgrounds for you, panoramics for you. Just put in the prompt, and it'll just produce it for you
Yeah.
as a full dynamic range image. So it's interesting. So yeah, so Polyhaven here. I'll put that in the chat box for everybody to go to it, go check it out, and it's free. It's completely free for personal or commercial use.
It's a very good resource.
It's a really good resource. So here, put that up there. Polyhaven.com. And so definitely go, guys, go check that out. I use this all the time when I'm teaching my classes. The students love it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to, I've gotten so used to the library now, I think they need to start expanding it a little bit more. But not only does it have HDRI, so if you go back to the assets and go to the models, they've got models for you. Look at these models, and they're great. Right? So if I take, let's say, for example, this jacaranda tree, right? If I click on that, I can get it as 4K images or 8K images or all the way down to 1K if I want to. I'll go 4K, and I'll choose the format, which is, I think I'll choose an FBX. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So FBX formats, and I'm going to go ahead and hit download. Okay, so I made a folder for today's class, for today's presentation, which was over here in my lessons and over the presentations, and it should be under Blender 5. Did I pass it?
Blender 5 new features
right there. So I'm gonna put down here FBX exports, and just drop it in there. I think it's a TIFF file, but no big deal. I'll just come over here. It's still downloading. All right, it's almost done downloading. So when it finishes, we'll go open up the zip file. There it is. So open the folder, unzip it, and so I'm going to grab both of those, the textures. So it's giving you both the individual textures and the actual FBX, which is kind of nice. I'm going to drop it in here, paste it. Go to my textures. There we go. Let's go up here to the view and go to large. All right, so there are your textures for the trees. And they're pretty darn good looking. I've played around with these before. So we're going to Blender. Let's get out here. Let's go find Blender, which I have open in the background. There it is, 5.0. All right. So 5.0. Here, let me kind of like share this with everybody. Blender Foundation released 5.0 this week. It's here, baby. It's there. And it's nice, guys. It's faster, more robust. A lot of really nice features. We'll go over some of them today. So I'm loving where they're going with this stuff. They're doing a great job. A lot of work on it's a significant amount of work on geometry nodes, which they've taken the geometry nodes features and integrated them into the you know what I mean, why my brain's acting kind of weird this morning. It's kind of like, Steve, think. Into the modifiers, right? Into the modifiers. But here, let's open up, let's go get that file. Let's go to File menu, Import, right? FBX. Where do we put it? We put it over here under the Lessons folder, all right? And then we put it under Presentations, and then we under Blender 5 new features, right? So let's go find, there it is. FBX exports, there it is. There's the tree. Double click it. And we wait for it to come in because it's thinking. There it is. Look at that. It's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
X-ray mode. And let's get into the Z key. to get my options for the viewing modes, I'm gonna go to material mode.
There it goes.
There we go.
Takes a while for all that Python code to work.
It looks really good. I mean, getting close. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really, really good. So look at that. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's all free on that site. So I will probably use it for one of the tutorials here. I'm gonna use one of these. I know where I've got the FBX downloaded. Let's go take a look at it. Let's go put a light source in here. All right, let's go Shift A. Let's go put a light source in here real quick. I guess we'll just put a sunlight. No big deal. We'll just drag the sunlight on up to here. All right, we'll just have it point. Yeah, that should be okay. ZT.
Somebody looked at that dot and said, "Isn't that the sun?" I said, "No,
No, it's not the sun." There we go. I should also bring down there a floor plane too.
Yeah,
Gotta have a floor plane.
shadows.
Give it a reference, a reference base here. All right, go to back to the sunlight. Go down to the sunlight properties here in Blender. A little green light bulb there, and just increase exposure a little bit. There we go. Tree dot. There we go. Getting close. Yeah, they did a good job. So we're actually looking at the rendered view. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. So all that stuff for free. We're getting close to the trunks. Yeah, they did a good job. And you can get, let me go back to, I think it's that one there. So that one there? Nope, not that one there. I want, go find my Polyhaven site. Where did I put it? There. Okay. All right. You can support them, if you like, or take advantage of the assets. So if you bring in one tree here, they give you a whole bunch of other suggestions of what you chose. All right. You got a small tree. What I like to do is, let me kind of go here, is organize this in a separate folder. So this is going to be I'll just grab the name of this, copy it, make a new folder, Command-Shift-N, paste that in there. And then the textures I will drop in there. And the actual FBX I'll drop in there. So everyone that I bring in will have its own folder. That way it keeps everything organized. And I'll go ahead and just drop the zip file in there too. So it's all together in one. So if I download any of these, and there's some other suggestions here. Say I'll go that small tree right about here. There's a small tree. Now, I think they give you an option to view this in 3D as well. So on the bottom left, if you click that 3D button right about there, there it is. You actually get to view it in their 3D environment right here in Polyhaven. Scroll wheel zooms in and out. Just left click and drag to give you rotation. All right, say I like that one, so I'll go ahead and I'll keep that as an FBX as well. You can also download this as a blend file. So just be aware of that. Here's a tree small zip. I'm going to copy that name. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit Command-Shift or Control or Command Shift N for new folder, Control V, paste the name in there. I'll take the zip out. I don't need the zip in there, just that there. Double click that one. Now put the small tree, double click it to get inside that folder, place it inside that folder. And when it's done, I'll just go unzip it. So later on, I might come back and use that one. So open up the folder. Now we're inside the folder already, so it's all organized, ready to go. So all I need to do is just double click that one, copy those, Control C, go back to the root of that small tree folder and just paste it on in there. And it's done. Easy peasy. Okay, so I'll have later on when I want to come back and play with it. But just to show you what other assets you've got in here, we go to models. You got a lot. Look, tables and chairs. Look at all. You got pipes. Look at these pipes. They're cool. All types of rocks. Look at these rocks. I mean, these are great for landscape stuff, for environments that you're going to build. I'm working on a class for environment. Next week, it's going to begin my character creation and rigging class in Blender. The 5-week class. I should show you guys that real quick. Here, I'll just stay here and go to the Chromotion site. Internet seems to be a little bit slow today. All right, so workshops, go to Blender 3D. So this is my personal website. I'll just drop that into, okay, Carm, how you doing? Drop that in there. Welcome to the Blender 3D and Lightwave discussions. Chrome Illusion. Okay, so if you go to the workshops and go to Blender 3D, they're all listed here. So I've got the character rigging. Now I'm doing several others. I'm in the process of producing them. I've got a lot of requests for additional classes to do from the students. So right now the classes are practically they've been filled. I only do 8 students. And the character rigging starts. It says the 23rd, but I moved it because of the Death Valley class. Because it was moved forward, so we just did. It's going to end on the 30th, not the 23rd. So this is wrong. So it doesn't start tomorrow. It starts next Sunday. So I'll give you guys the link to this. And I'll give you guys a discount code. All right, so this is the character rigging class. I'll go ahead and put it in Twitch. And then I'll give you guys a discount code, and it'll work on all the classes. Let's see, put that in. A discount is called, make sure I spell it right, in 2025. Cool, there. Okay, so that's the link to the character rigging class. Here is the discount code, SDPUG 2025. Go ahead and use that. So let me go back to the Blender 3D. The advanced, and after that ends, the next one that comes up, and it's almost full too, is the advanced Blender 3D modeling that starts in January 11th. So it's right after the New Year's holiday, a week after the New Year's holiday. So definitely get involved with that one. This one is going into how do you model organics, hard surface, polyflow, characters, just the core fundamentals of good modeling. That's going to take your modeling skills to the next level. So you're definitely going to want to get involved in that one. That starts in January. It's more the intro to Blender class does a lot of modeling, but it's an introduction to modeling. This class goes way beyond. So okay, just enough of the shameless promotion. So there we go. So we're in Blender. That's what the tree looks like. So kind of cool. In fact, I'll save this file. Command Shift S or Control Shift S. We're in the new features. And I'll put down here tree assets and save as. Okay, let me get my little Word file out because I made a whole list of things I want to cover today for the new features inside of Blender. There it is, and we got some pretty cool little stuff in there. Now, FYI, I'm not going to cover every little new feature inside of Blender, but under the hood, it's really they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you have a day or two?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and plus in the new Blender classes that are coming up, we're working in Blender 5, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
when the new features come out, we're working in the new version of Blender.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense considering the fact that that's what students really want to, dive into. Is the
Yeah,
latest and greatest.
like
Just makes
tomorrow is
your
our
job harder, but
yeah, like tomorrow is our last class for the Blender Brilliance class,
Mm,
and I'll go over some of the new features in Blender 5 as as a courtesy. But it's pretty amazing. A little bit of interface changes. You'll see a little bit of cosmetics done. So let's go. Let's get out. Let's go to my file menu. So go to the file, new. Go to general. Just start the fresh new file. So I like when I set up Blender, you're normally gonna get like this plain gray background. Um, One of the things that I like to do, and I'm not some of you may or may not know this, but I have a gradient here. What you're looking at is a gradient from a background. It's a slight bluish dark bluish tone that gradiates to a medium gray at the top, right? If you move it back and forth like this, you can see it. And you can change that, go into your edit menu, go to your preferences. Now, this is not new in 5, but this is something I figured I'll share. You go to your themes right over here. And under themes, you go to your 3D viewport because that's what we're going to do something to change our 3D viewport. Okay, drop it down. Go past all these little swatches. Now, these swatches relate to some aspect in Blender. And believe me, most of these I don't even know what they are. I just have to go change them and see what happens in Blender and figure out what they are that way. But if we come down to here, right below all the swatches, this is where you change your edge thickness and your vertex sizes right in the bottom. But down over here inside of the theme space, I think it's a theme space. Under theme space at the bottom of theme space, you'll see something that says gradient colors.
yeah.
If drop that down there, these are my two colors right here: the gradient high, the gradient low. Right. So this is my gradient low. It's a blue. When I click on this, it's dark, but it's over. But my dot is over in the blue section. See,
Okay.
it's over in the blue section. So if I play with this, I can move to the side a little bit. So I can move this to my other monitor now, right? I can take it out of Blender, move it to another monitor, and I'll play with that. So I'll click on it, and you can see, it's the gradient. It's the bottom half. So I want that to be blue. I don't want it bright like blue. That'll interfere with my visuals of my objects. But I want a very almost black, but blackish blue like this. You want it very subtle. So you see there's a slight change so that when you bring in those gray models in there, or bring in a box, it stands out.
Yeah. Yeah. Contrast.
Yeah, in the contrast, it stands out. And that blue is still too bright for me. So I'm gonna pull it down even more to the darker level. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. Here, it's too high. So I'm going to bring it down lower like this in here. And now when you look at it, see, it's even more contrast. But there's a slight little tinge of something back there that tells you, okay, that background is visually separate from this object. Object is neutral and the background's got some color in it. So in case anybody wants to use that, you can. I think I'll bring it down just a teensy bit more. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I'm liking that. So don't forget that once you apply that, I'm going to delete my object intentionally so that I can go to my file menu, defaults, and save it as a default startup file. So that every time you close down Blender and reopen it again, you get this. You get exactly what you want to see. So, okay. So I made a list of things. Modifiers are very cool because now they're integrated with geometry nodes. So one of them is the array modifier. And let's play around with this one. Let's go ahead and give this bring in here like a cylinder. Okay. And just for giggles, let's go inside the edit mode there. Let's go grab this top and just bring it up like so. Okay. Then we'll go back over to object mode. So we'll go to the modifier. Now this this is the one thing I just absolutely love because whenever you want to do like a circular array, it's a lot of steps in Blender that do it natively. Now they cut all that out. So a lot of those plugins that people are having you use that's supposed to make Blender easier to use as a modeler, now it's now being integrated into the workflow of the base program. Putting my glasses on here. So if I go to add modifier, go to generate, and go to array, you're going to see two arrays. The legacy array, which is the original one that you're so used to, and then the new array at the top. If I click on the new array, it's going to kind of look not really different until you come over to the properties panel over here, right? And if I say give this 10 arrays, right? I'm going to array it 10. I can still come over to the offset and play around with the offset in either direction, in the negative or the positive direction. Okay. If I go back to 1.0, there. I tell you, we'll just go ahead and give us a little bit of space. Okay, so that's still the same. Now, what's nice here is it's got a randomize feature now. All right, so if I click that and drop it down, I can randomize this on any of my axes. So this is the x-axis here. So if I pull the offset for randomizing, see? It's going to start randomizing all those little pieces. Now this is going to be a little more interesting in just a little bit, but I can offset any of this, randomize it. There's something here. I'm going to go back to the randomize. I'm going to set that to 0 for the X. Let's go pull this on back and take a note of something. I've got an empty. You get an empty automatically with this new modifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go up to the top and say, I don't want an array or the line shape for the, I don't want a line shape for the array. I want a circular array. Okay.
Okay.
And there's my, now I want to offset that a little bit. So I'm going to take this, let's see, let's randomize the offset, let's see if we're going in the X direction. And I'm going to try something else too. Let me, if I go to edit mode, hit the A key for all. There we go. Move it off of the empty. So get it off of the empty and you got yourself an array. Let's place your object in edit mode. Empty is automatically going to go where the 3D cursor is, right? So your object, we're going to take it off and back, okay? This is beautiful because now if I go over here to object mode, I can put this anywhere. So if I go to a rotate, all right, I can, we couldn't do this before with the array modifier without setting up a bunch of additional empties to parent it to. Now it does it all in one step inside the array modifier. If I go to the randomize and go to the rotation option for randomize, let's say it's randomized on the Z-axis, right? I'll just pull the, so I can randomize these things, randomize the locations in either directions. Yeah. So there's a lot of potential here, right? We got, randomization for scale.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Definitely.
So, we've got flipping here, X, Y, and Z axis. Go to Z. Right, kind of interesting. So you can come in here and play around with this stuff. We got the let's see, what is this here? We got the radius we can affect. Now I was affecting the radius by dragging the object in edit mode. But you can also affect the radius by clicking and holding on that yellow square. Remember that yellow empty that we found there? You got a little yellow square there. That's controlling the distance to the empty.
Yeah.
So that's this is kind of nice. Especially when I want to do like repetition on a starship or something, maybe like a particular bunch of boats surrounding, maybe a circular viewing glass. I can quickly do it now. And this is all in instance. Everything is instanced. So if I want to come in here and do the edit mode thing, all right, and all right, so again, we got that instancing going on.
And because of the modifier, it just automatically updates all the other.
Yeah.
For some reason, I want to call them imposters. I don't know why.
Imposters? Well, they kind of are imposters, no way.
Well, in some of the technical modeling that I do, they have a command in OpenGL that is basically called imposter.
Right.
It allows you to take any object that you want and make copies of it. In fact, it's one of the tools I use to add bushes and stuff to terrain.
Okay.
And some of the 3D stuff that I've done in the past. And so every time I look at array, for some reason I always think of imposters. That's what comes, into my mind because, and as you quite pointed out, they are imposters. They are, unless you apply the modifier which is one thing you got to remember in Blender. If you're not careful and don't save the end model, you could lose your modifier.
Yeah. So fun stuff. So okay, so that's that's the that's the radius here. Same thing as grabbing, like I mentioned earlier. Same thing as grabbing that little square and adjusting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the array. So now here's another one that's really cool. All right, let's just get this here. We'll just go up here and we'll turn let's turn that one off. Let's bring in the plane. Let's make it a little larger.
The plane.
Let's go all transformations, edit mode, right click, and go up here to subdivide. Let's subdivide this by, I think, 50. I will say 100. Okay. Get out of here. Let's go back to find out what I'm doing here. Go to object mode. Let's give it a modifier, and we're going to give it a deformative modifier for deformation. So add the modifier deform, and we're going to add a displace. So we're going to displace it. We're going to add textures to displace this the shapes. So using black and white information. So we'll come over here to the texture in the bottom, add a new texture, and the texture we're going to add for the type is going to be clouds there. Okay. If I go and give the strength up like this, but now go back to the texture option here, and let's modify the sizing. It only goes to 2, which it does. That's not true. It goes beyond it. So if I go to 10 and just type it in there, we got our plane there. Okay, got a nice plane. So then I'm gonna go back to my displace modifier and give it a little more strength like this. All right, scatter on surface is very cool. Add it. Add what? We're going to add generate, and I think, come on, Stephen. Generate scatter on surface. Boom. Look at this. This is a geometry nodes concept, which is scatter points on surface.
Mm-hmm.
But it's built into the modifier, so it makes it easier for you to control. I got my density here, so increase the density, it gets smaller. Decrease the density, they get a little bit bigger. So I'll make them kind of like this. And what we have are instances of an empty placed on the surface of our landscape. All right.
Okay.
Right, placed on the surface of landscape. So now, remember that tree that we downloaded?
Yes, I do.
A bunch of those trees on here.
Great idea.
So we got the instancing option right there. And instance what? Well, we don't know what because we haven't brought anything in yet. So let's go get that tree. Let's go to File menu and go to Import. As import what? An FBX, I think what we've got. And this is going to rent nilly-willy folders because I haven't saved this yet. So I need to save this. I'm gonna go to Command-Shift-S, and it's going back to the folder I wanted to go to, and we're going to call it. I will call it the Blend 5 tutorial, and we'll just save it right in there. Cool. All right. So now when I go to File menu, Import, it should default back to that folder, and that's my FBX exports. Grab that one. This is the small tree. Let's do the small tree. I double click that, and grab that there. And there's my tree. It doesn't have to be in the middle. So I'm going to hit the move tool and just move it off to the side right there. Okay, so I want each one of these to be a tree. I want a bunch of these trees on my plane. So make sure the plane that the modifier is applied to is selected. Come down here to instancing, and the instancing menu is kind of close to the bottom here. And if you click the object and pick the object you want, it's going to be the small tree, and click it. And there it is. Look at that. Look at those trees. It's so pretty. All right. So we can control again the density. Then we kind of pull this out. What was that?
Which you may want to do because it's it does tax your computer a little bit.
It does. Already it's slowing my system down. So if I pull this out like that, I can speed up a little bit. There we go. I can speed up a little bit. There we go. We got a bunch there.
We don't want to lose you, Steve.
Oh, it's going to transfer.
I know your computer is great, but don't want to lose you.
All right. That's right. So we got now down in the transform section, down toward the bottom, we got randomize. Now we can start randomizing all different types of aspects. I want to click it and drop it down. And we definitely want to randomize the size or the scale, right? So we're going to pull that on up and just play with the scale like that. Yeah. So if I click it off, you get to, actually, let's go on and take this to material view. It shouldn't take much more resources. There we go. Yeah,
take the meta approach of things.
Take the what approach?
The meta approach of programming is, go out and break, do stuff and break things.
Break things, yeah.
I mean, they emphasize the break, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad, but I won't get deep into that.
Right. All right, so there we go. So you can see the sizing. We've got rotation. Definitely want to play with that one. So let's put some rotation on the X randomize. All right, as I'm moving it over to the right, you see a little bit. So we don't want those trees looking too uniform. We got Y-axis. Let's kind of move that over. And I like the fact that it slowly does it. It doesn't drastically start moving things too quickly. How about something on the X-axis? And okay, that's rotation. Let's see what offset on the X does. Yeah, okay, they're randomizing the X-axis offset. I'm just kind of pulling it around. So this is going to be a real nice, I think it's going to be very, very helpful. If we hit the realize instances, that means it turns everything to real geometry that you can 3D print. But I would assume that I can still export this out as a STL, and these will be potentially able to 3D print these instances. The scatter on instances, this is interesting. I haven't played with this one. Let's actually do it. It's doing something. It's getting close to one of them. Let's see what's going on here. See, scatter on instances means it's doing something to the instance itself. If I scatter on instances, it's doing something. I'm not quite sure what it's doing. I'm going to go take the seed. There we go. Oh, interesting. So I got a seed value here where it's going to kind of like manipulate this, and that's going to be very helpful. So if you got a bunch of grass, right, and you want to populate it throughout your scene, that's going to be very helpful. Okay, so that's scattered on surface. Let's see. I want to see if I can bring up the density a little bit like that. Yes. Let's see what it does. Okay, so I got a bunch more trees, and it's still responsive. Blender is still responsive.
Yeah. Oh, they've gotten better on that.
Yeah, I do feel the slowdown though. I do
Yeah.
feel the slowdown a little bit, but you know, it's that's
Without
what.
getting too preachy on programming, they've the Blender group that has been working on this stuff has taken a lot of the algorithms that were originally written in Python and converted them over to C++. So that makes it more well, it makes it easier to do in things, dealing with things like Vulkan. But it also just in general makes things faster because, despite the fact that Python has been made leaps and bounds and being the fast scripting language, it's still, everybody still calls it the slow the slow train that could. So
Yeah, so thinking about Vulkan, let me go check because I just loaded 5. I don't remember activating Vulkan, so that's under your
good
preferences.
point.
Yeah, let's go check that real quick. That's under your system.
Yeah.
It's there. Yes,
Yeah.
Vulkan's
I think
right.
it's on by default nowadays. But of course, if
Yeah,
you input your settings from 4.5 to 5, it will bring a lot of your stuff from 4.5 over when you initially install it. That's one thing that you taught me to remember.
cool. I'm gonna bring down this density just a little bit more and save the file. Okay, so that's scattered on surface. So obviously you can see a lot of practicality for that because if I hey, let's do something else. Let's do double up that modifier. Okay, in fact, before we double up mod, let's go get something to scatter. Let's go back to where are you? It should be right here, right? Okay, Polyhaven is what I wanted. Okay. And let's go to the assets. Let's go get some rocks. Let's go get some models. And let's get some rock. Let's rock. Let's just kind of, we got various rocks here. So let's get that rock. Download it. Okay, FBX export. This is going to be the boulder. So I'm going to copy that. Make a new folder. Paste that in there, that name in there. Get inside the folder. Come on, get inside the folder. Thank you. And there, let's go get another one. And they're going to give me more options down here. I think, get out of the way. This is an advertisement up here. Go away. We've got more here. Let's see. Let's go grab that one. That's too close to the other one. Let's go back. Here is, I think that'll work. Let's go grab that one. Download it. Okay. Go to my FBX root. Copy this. Control Shift N. Paste. Get rid of that zip. I don't need that. And save it. Okay, that's good enough. Let's go to the folder real quick and let's go double click it. Select those two, copy them out, go back to the root and paste it in. Let's do the same thing for the other one, the boulder. Double click it, copy, Go back to the root, paste. All right, I think we only got a couple of them. We'll just work with a couple of them for now. So let's go into Blender, bring them in. So shift, let's go over here to File menu, Import, FBX. And then let's go back up, and there is the boulder, that one, and go grab that boulder. Okay, it's there. I'm going to pull it out. Where did I put the tree? Actually, let me kind of get out of this mode here. There we go. There's the first trees over there. Okay, there it is. All right, so bring it right next to the tree, and we'll go get one more. We will import FBX, and this was the boulder, right? So we want there it is. That's the other one here. Grab it. There it is. Pull it on over. Pull it to the right side of that other boulder, and we're there. We're good to go. So if I go, just take a look at it in material view. Yep, materials and everything is all on it. Okay. Now I want to do an experiment. I want to take the boulders. Now this is interesting. I've got one of the Namaqualand boulder and 4 of these. Why? One. Why do I have 4?
Probably because they broke it into 4 boulders, and they're all on top of each other.
Yeah, but I didn't. That must be a bug in Blender, because I assumed there's only going to be one boulder. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to grab these 3 here, and I'm going to delete them. There. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm assuming that's a bug. So I'm going to grab that boulder, hold the Control key, and grab that boulder. Hit the M key for move the collection, and make a new collection, and we're going to call it boulder.
Oops, you're stuck on the high key.
Yeah, hate that. Key. Make them all bold.
That'll
work. So there's my boulder folder. I can do them that way. Okay, so that looks good. Okay. All right, let's bring in another modifier. So go back to the modifiers. I'm gonna go back to here, go to the modifiers. Now, select the plane, because that's what we're gonna apply this to. We've got the scatter on surface. We're gonna do another scatter on surface. So go to generate scatter on surface there. Okay. Be careful. It's going to starting to feel the slow down a little bit. And on this scatter on surface, we're going to go down and get the instancing here. And instead of an object, we want what? A collection.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of nice. What collection? Boulder collection.
It's boulder time. Ooh.
Wow. Look at that. That's interesting.
Temper your passions, Stefan.
Wow, look at that. No, I didn't expect that at all. I expected it to scatter it on the surface.
Ah, good point.
Right? It didn't. It went everywhere else but the surface. That's interesting. All right. So then let's see. How do I correct this? So let's bring down the density a little bit.
Bring it down a lot.
Yeah. It's down to 0.02, 0.1, 0.01. Okay, you got to keep the surface or not keep the surface, right? So I can turn the surface off or turn the surface on, which is kind of nice. Scatter on instance, not doing anything. Interesting. Now the pick instance. Oh, that did something.
Mm-hmm.
We click the pick instance. Okay. Instance seed. And if I move this around, yeah, there it is. So you have,
Yoda seed.
yeah, you got to choose that pick instance to get the instance to restrict itself to the plane. We got the transforming. I assume this is going to be my alignment offsets and all of that. Surface offsets. Let me see what this does. Yeah, so this will control how close to the plane all this is going to react to.
Yeah, you got Yoda's flying rocks.
What was that?
You got Yoda's flying rocks.
Flying rocks. That's right. Use the force.
I've been watching Star Wars this week, so you know.
Even that offset, give me that offset you can animate, which is kind of nice. So we can use
Oh
that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know that's you need that. All we need is all we need is the Yoda character in there.
Except our Star Wars movies will be better than Disney. We got our randomizing here. Cool. Let's go randomize the size. So there's the scale. So we can kind of play around with the scale. There we go. So yeah, we got multiples of these, but be aware that when you start adding multiples of this particular modifier, it's going to start to slow your system down. So make sure your poly count in your objects is very efficient.
Yeah.
It's working pretty good, but I can feel the slowdown. Overall, Blender's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a way that you can have like a gang of computers and you can distribute all the functionality over the systems.
I'm assuming if you do something like maybe go to wireframe mode, that might help, like this.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it
but
does.
Your point is illustrating to us the effect, and even wireframe will give you a much quicker presentation. Yeah. You got a bunch of people out there to say, hey, Stefan, show me.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Okay, so we've covered the array modifier already. Now we just covered the scatter on surface modifier. Okay, so let's see, randomize. Well, we also have something else. We got randomized instances too. Interesting. Let's try that out. What I want to do is I want to turn off. Let me go to the first modifier and turn it off. I just turn it off there. That's the trees are gone. So be aware that if you look at these little buttons here on the right-hand side of the modifier, the monitor button, what it does is it not only shuts off the visual, but it shuts off all the RAM associated with it. So if I turn this off for the trees, all of a sudden I can move really fast. All the RAM and the visuals are gone, no longer interacting with Blender, and now you can work fast. That's another way you can work faster. So you work with the client, says, okay, those are the trees and the rocks, right? It's kind of moving kind of slow. But if you just want to see one or the other, you want to speed it up a little bit, turn off the trees, and now look real fast. Super.
It's a shame there isn't a methodology that built in there that you can actually control the view for certain objects.
Right.
That'd be a nice future feature that Blender can get into.
Right. Let me try. We also have one called randomized instances. So, and I think what that is I think I'm going to turn this off here. And we're just going to bring in we'll bring in Suzanne, the monkey head.
Yeah.
I think this is one where you can add randomized instances. Let's see. That's under. I know where that is. That's under, not under generate. It's under instances right here. And you got randomized instances. Maybe I'm thinking we're going to have our instancing already applied. I'm forgetting what I usually do with this. So we need something to kind of give it some instancing. So let's go ahead and apply an array like this and give it. Let's put that array at the top. So that'll be the first thing that it does. Okay. We got a bunch of these here. All right, let me see what randomized instances do. Okay, so access, uniform, scale. Okay, so it's not doing it. Interesting. All right, I'm forgetting with the randomized instances. So for some reason, I thought what was happening was taking any object and instancing or randomizing it, but I'll come back to that one. I played around with it earlier, and I'm forgetting the workflow. So let's go over the displacement. There's some really nice features. So this you're gonna love. I'll come back to this one. So we'll turn these off for now. All right, let's go ahead and give ourselves a plane. We got to subdivide this. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Okay. Let's go ahead and apply rotation and scale. Edit mode, let's give it 100. Subdivisions. There we go. Get out of here. All right. Let's go over to Polyhaven. And let's go grab some textures. So assets, textures this time. All right, brick. We want to grab something a little more interesting. So we'll say terrain, brick. Let's go to brick. And let's pick something that I think is going to be very interesting. Scrolling through here. Yeah, this one's looking, I'm liking that rough wall. Let me kind of keep going a little bit. Castle brick, it's not bad. I want something like a cobblestone or something like that. So maybe that is under a different category. So let me go ahead and we got brick here, floor. Let's go to floor. Over here to the left-hand side, I've got some options for floor. I think it's using, that's not bad. Outdoor, maybe. Let's see. Outdoor is showing me everything. This one might not be so bad. I'm just kind of look down. Oh, these are not bad either. Kind of like that. Yep, I'm being anal. Totally being.
You want to get something that will demonstrate what your point.
Yeah, it's going to be dynamic. It's kind of. Now this one here is not bad. Let's just do this one, plaster brick.
Okay.
Yeah, that I think that'll work. Let's go download that one. 4K. All right, we're gonna go to, let's see, this is going to be textures, right? So I am going to have to go to a different folder, go to Blender 5. So we're gonna go to a new folder called images. Okay. Get inside of images. This one's going to be called Red Brick. Copy that. New folder there. Paste that there. Get inside that folder and paste and save the zip file. It's there. Go inside the folder. Grab it. There are my textures. That's all I care about. I'm going to go grab all these textures here. Copy them. In the root of that folder, it gives me a blend file too, but I don't care about that. So I just want the textures. Come on, Control V. Oh, there it is. I'm inside the red plaster here, copy, there.
Remember, you're in this within the zip file.
That's probably what I was, yeah. Oh, I was. Here I am. I got to go over here. Gotcha.
Yeah. I hate Windows when they decided to incorporate zip into their format. The idea is noble, but
there we go. There are my images. Yeah, what's nice about this is that these are all PBR images, right? Physical based reality images. So they're true to PBR, and they work beautifully well. Okay, let's go back into Blender. All right, so we got to give this a surface. I'm going to break off another plane down here in the middle, placing the cursor in the bottom left hand corner, getting the crosshairs. Left click and drag will split off the window, but it's giving me two of the same window. This one I want to be the shader editor there. Okay, so there are my nodes. There's the Principled BSDF shader. And what I want is the shortcut using Node Wrangler, Control Shift T. That's going to allow me to bring in multiple images. Go to my images, Red Brick Plaster, and there they all are. Ambient occlusion. I've got, here we go. We got what is this one here? This is the bump. I want the color. I want the displacement here. I want the normal, and I want the roughness. I want all these here. Plug them in, and there they are. They're all plugged in, ready to go. If we go here to material view, all right.
There.
Okay, there they are. Okay. Now, we don't want to be viewing this in material view. We want to view this in render view. So if you know what? It's past time for the 15-minute break. It's 11:30 already. Oh my gosh, that went by fast.
Yeah.
15-minute break. Yay.
Time for break. I agree.
See, I can go make my smoothie while
I'm gonna go grab my lunch. My lunch.
timer. All right, there we go. I'm gonna grab that one right there. All right, guys, 15-minute time. Let's go. Let's take a break. Come back and have more fun with what's new in Blender 5.0. And I will mute my mic temporarily. We are back. All right. Well, I decided to make coffee instead. Okay. I've become a coffee snob because I buy my coffee beans whole, grind them myself with alongside whole cinnamon sticks. I throw the cinnamon sticks in with the coffee and grind them all up together to get a nice little gourmet coffee type of a concept.
I broken down and
Yeah.
comply to conformity. I got a Keurig.
You got a cute. I've got one too. It's nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah. The trouble is, half of everything out there is now in little pods, and you got to do the pods now.
No,
you
you
can't
don't. No, you don't.
brewing like normal people.
David, you don't have to do that. Your Keurig came with an additional. It's basically it's like a pod, but there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
So you can actually ground your own coffee, put the filter in it, or if it probably already provides the filter for you, and put your freshly ground grounds there, and then brew your own coffee. That's how I.
Yeah, but you probably got the good Keurig. I got
No,
the cheap one.
No. All curious with that. Just go on the Amazon and look for them,
Mm-hmm.
and look for the they're reservoirs. They look just like the pods, but they're plastic. You just wash it, reuse it over and over again. But you just put your freshly grounds in there. The lid closes on top of it, and you just brew your coffee. So it's for people who like to ground their own coffee, who don't want to who don't want to resort to the pods.
I wonder if you can 3D print it.
Well, the 3D printer and the filaments have to be food safe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything out there that's food safe yet. The closest thing to food safe will be PLA plastic, which is the filament, but you have to be able to withstand the heat. So yeah,
That's a 3D printer nerd. He's out here along with me. So
right. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so everybody sees our screen. We need to be in render mode for this one. So Z key, go to render mode, and we got to bring in the light source, of course. So Shift A. Let's go to our light source, and I think what I'll do this time is I'll bring in a point light, like so. There we go. We'll bring it up to right about here. Let's bring up the intensity. I'm going to make sure in my render mode that this is cycles. It is. Okay. Now we need to go make some modifications because the displacement map isn't working. We want this to be real physical geometry. And
yep.
And we don't have it yet. We were set up for it, but we don't have it for this reason. And that is we need to go over. I'm going to select the plane. You have to go over to your materials, or you can come down to your nodes and do it as well, right? The same thing, right? So if I come over here, we'll stay over to the right hand side, okay? So here's my displacement setting down toward the bottom. We need to go to the settings for the displacement, and by default, it's bump only. You need to change that to bump and displacement, and then boom, there it is. It's displaced. You just saw it displaced there. So if I get up close, get in at an extreme angle. Go to my displacement settings up here, which is to scale. There it is. See? Now that's too much.
Yeah, bit excessive.
Let's take it down, just holding the shift key, bring it down to something a little more. There we go. I want a little more. I want to exaggerate it a little bit more, kind of push it up. Got to be careful how it went back to 1.8. I'm going to go 0.15. Okay, that's not bad. Still a little too much. How about 0.13?
No, you're at 0.3.
Yeah, 1.
You're at 1.3. Okay.
0.13. Yeah, I'm gonna try 0.12 just for giggles. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that's better. All right, now we're gonna just set up the camera. I'm gonna set up the camera from this point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So Control-Alt-0 will take that point of view and set up the camera. Now, with the N key for numerics, come down to the view option, and I'm going to uncheck the camera to view for this reason. So I can actually resize my viewing area to something a little more that I like. Now, once that's done, N key on the keyboard, go back to camera to view, hit the N key to make that go away. Now we can move through the camera. Something like this. Okay. So one thing that's been in experimental mode for the longest time, you know what, and I think it might be wise. I've got a light source in here, but we can bring in HDRI, right?
Yes.
So let's go over to Polyhaven. Let's grab an HDRI. Let's go to our assets. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to HDRI. Let's go grab something with skies. Only skies, actually, like something like this. I think I'm liking that. Okay, keep it low on the horizon. Download it. You're going to get a single image. So I'm going to go put that inside the images folder. HDRI, go ahead, it's done. Let's get back in the Blender. Now go back down here to the our shader editor, and we're currently in the object option. You see it right up here at the top left-hand corner. Drop it down. I'm going to go to the world option, and right now there's nothing in the world. Hit the period key to pop that to view. Okay. And we have nothing in there yet because I'm going to select it, use Node Wrangler, Control T. It adds on an image node, an environment image node, and of course the mapping and texture, which are standard. Go to Open and go to our images folder, and there's my HDRI image. Grab it, and there it is. Okay, now I can turn off the light source. So go to my light here in the panel, and I'll hit the monitor for now. There it is. All right, not looking too bad. So if I pull back a little bit, in fact, if I even stay here, hit the 0 key on the numeric side, that gives us a broader view. Or what you can do at this point is go back to this view, come down to the bottom, instead of the shader view, grab this and go to 3D viewport, and then take this here, leave this in the 3D view, but just take this to render view here. Click it, give it a moment. It's thinking. There, it's still thinking.
Yeah.
Just let it render. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to rotate it. See, what am I? I'm looking at it. Yeah, I think this is the direction I'm looking at it in, kind of getting close. The reason I want to do this is because I might want to change the background. Now the background, in other words, I might want to change the rotation or where the lighting is actually coming from in the background. So I can add another window down here. I'm going to go to the bottom left-hand corner, get the crosshairs, left click and drag to the right to do this. And the reason I'm doing this is to go to my shader nodes again for the world, come back over to this mapping where I can rotate the image right here along the Z-axis right there. I'm just kind of zooming in close to it. So if I'm viewing it from this view, you can see the sunlight is almost coming straight on. And if I come to the sunlight and say rotate that on the Z-axis, you can see the lighting change on our subject. And I'm just going to just twirl it around and see if I get something that I like better. I want to keep rotating it around. Oh, I'm liking this one better. Okay. I just want to bring it back a little bit. Something maybe something like this. I'm going to keep going around and see what it looks like. Z-axis, I'm going to keep twirling it around and see what it does. Yeah. Now this looks like it's coming in front of us or directly from behind us. Okay, now I'm going to take it over to the side.
All the sun passing the horizon.
Yeah, I'm probably liking this right here.
Whatever floats your boat.
What was that?
Whatever floats your boat, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. And so we got this one. Let's go.
I'm chill.
Yeah, that's good. So I got the camera view and I've got my, perspective view all at one time. So now, we're going to select with this selected here. Then this is what I want to show you. With the new features in 5.0. The displacement is here. As I go to my modifiers, I have no modifier. I'm going to add a new modifier because I want to fine tune this brick texture. And we're going to add in there a subdivision surfaces. There, see, the brick is getting more refined.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're going to go up to a levels of view of 3. So 2 and 3 really subdivides it even more and gives you better detail. All right. Now here's something that's new in Blender. In the subdivision surfaces modifier panel, we had adaptive subdivision as an experimental feature. You had to turn it on in your options. You no longer have to do that. It's right here. Critically important is that your adaptive subdivision has to be the last layer in the stack for it to be turned on. If it's not the last layer, this will not show up. It'll disappear. If you put it as the last layer, that will show up. Now, what adaptive subdivision does, and Lightwave does this, by the way, I think Lightwave did it earlier on. It would give you more detail in anything that's close to the camera. So if we come over here to my bottom view here, the camera is right over here, right? Any of the geometry that's close to the camera will be subdivided more than the geometry that's further away from the cameras in the background. That's what adaptive subdivision does. So if we click it, you're going to gain more detail right here near the camera. The stuff way in the back will have less subdivisions because you're not going to see it anyway. So that's the new thing inside of Blender for this displacement map. And just to make my point about the position of the modifiers here, let's just go here. Let's take away the displacement map. So I'm going to come over here to the nodes. And go to get out of world view, go to object view. And I'm going to disconnect displacement. All right. And then get rid of that. And this is a displacement map here. I'm going to collect it. I'm going to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do the displacement as a modifier instead of as a material. Because we did it as a material here. Go to the modifier, add modifier, go to deform because it's a deformer, and we're going to click on displacement. Okay, it's displaced it, but it put it up above the camera. It's up here. I can see the corner of it at the top. All right, so what do I want to use as a texture? Is that the texture for it here? Yeah. No, I'm not sure. Is that the texture for it? Let me see. Strength. Let me come over here to displace. I'm not so sure. Okay. Nope, that's not the texture for it, I don't think. So I need to go get the texture. So come down here. Let's go over here. Go to the texture in the bottom. Here. I thought the texture would show up here. Right? Go to image. Okay. And we're going to get the image, scroll down right below and go open the image. Go to my images, go to red brick, and we want the displacement one. So which is right there, DISP. This one right there. Click it, and there it is. Okay. It's working. Boom. It's really high.
Yeah.
Really. All right. So displacement. So we got to bring this down. So its strength is 1.4. Go to 1. All right. Let's go to 0.1. Yeah. There we go.
Much better.
Now you have it as a modifier. This is good for 3D printing artists because if you export this out, when it's a modifier, provided that you thicken this, because it won't print right now because it's not airtight. Thicken it. Put the solidify modifier on it. That will print. Yeah, that will 3D print.
Mm-hmm.
So
bake all your.
I like
you bake it when you go to save it as a it was it FPS. I can't think today either.
FBA. So Carm mentions that his game is there. We'll have right before we get done, Carm. We'll bring you on. So just hang tight. And yeah, coffee does make you pee. It's a diuretic. It's a major diuretic.
Good observation.
Okay, so here we go. So we got the texture. So I got 0.1 for the strength. Maybe we'll try 0.1. Let's try 0.05. Let's see what that does. I don't know. It's kind of like in a 0.1, huh? Not bad. Okay, so here we go. Now, well, this is going to make the world's difference. The next step we're going to make is make a world's difference. So I'm kind of just repositioning this a little bit, repositioning my camera. All right, now remember when I said earlier that when you open up your subdivision services, we go to advanced, we have that what? That option.
And you may want to remove the bumper flag.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Boom. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So it's that option's not there anymore. All right. If I take this and move it below, boom. Right? Adaptive subdivisions is there now. It just magically appeared. So if I move it above this place, right, adaptive subdivisions go away. You don't have access to it. If I now take it and move it below, let me kind of scroll this up a little bit. If I move it below the other, if I can get it, I got to move this up, give myself more space. Below the other, like this. Now watch the adaptive subdivision surfaces pop up. Boom, there. See? Right there. Okay, so be aware of that. So to use that feature, it's got to be the last modifier in the stack.
Right.
Okay, let's see. I've got that's there. Go back to my displace. Now I can see that. See, the displace is looking different. Look now, right? As a result. So 0.5. I want 0.05. Let's go back to 0.1. Go back to 0.1. Yeah. Those subdivisions, adaptive subdivisions are here. You're not going to see anything. You're not going to see any changes by turning it on and off. It happens internally by splitting up the geometry. So if it's not important to you, then you can rearrange it to get a look that maybe, you might like better. See, this one's giving you more of an edgy look. Right? So it's up to you to make that call. Maybe having that adaptive subdivision is not that important, and you find that this is kind of a nicer look. So hey,
I kind of see it as a kind of a toss up between expression and realism.
Yeah,
you want to make it realistic. You switch things around. If you want to go more, setting a point, you flip it around.
So let's use that array modifier again. Not a the scatter on surface modifier. Watch it, I can use the array modifier too, couldn't I? It doesn't really matter. So I'll go here. So we'll go ahead, add that modifier. Let's go back to the generate scatter on surface. Okay. And I've got a few things on the surface. I just want to scatter a few rocks on the surface. That's about it. And let's see, let's go to a density, move it up, like maybe just more like that. That's all I'll do. Let's go import. Let's go import FBX. Let's go get one of those rocks. This is we'll use this boulder. There we go. We'll use that. That works just fine. Just move it off a little bit. We'll put it right over here. Okay. And what is this one called? We're going to call this one, we'll call it new boulder. All right. All right. Go back to my plane. Go back to my modifier. We got the scatter. And let's go over here to the object and grab the new boulder.
Oops.
Right. So no, it's just large, right? It's just
super. That's what was my first impression.
I go to my transform.
You want to turn your boulders into rocks.
I mean, there's a couple of ways you can do this. I mean, I could literally go into the let's go find the rock real quick, the new boulder. I can go to the new boulder, edit, select all, hit the S key, and just
shrink it.
Yeah, shrink it down like this.
But you got a better way, right?
Well, it's bring it down, click it. Let's see, I want to kind of see what's there. We go. You can see how it's, the update. In fact, if we just get out of here. Go to my tab, go to not edit mode, but go to object mode. No, stay in edit mode, but what I want to do is go to Z key solid mode. There we go. Makes conserve on memory quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was editing the object. If I go to the plane itself, right, we got the scatter over here. We got the density seed, instance type, visibility transform here, surface offset. We can play with that, right? We can kind of bring it down, get as close as we want. We got the scale. Click and hold on the scale and just drag it to the left or right. That does it too. So it's a couple of different ways to do it. Once you scale it down, of course, it's going to mess up your offset. Well, you just go back to the offset and just adjust it accordingly. You got the randomize feature, so click that. Scroll this down. And of course, we can randomize our scale, right? So we can kind of play around with that, which also messes with your offset a little bit. So just go back up to offset and adjust it accordingly. Let's see if I go to 0. Let me see what it looks like. This is taking it up high. And so we're going to say that's 0 there. Let me see what happens. It doesn't really matter. Actually, it might matter. Let me go to edit mode. In fact, that's not the edit mode that I want. I want the edit mode for the rock. So the rock is offset. So I want to experiment with something. Let's go get the rock itself. So the new boulder here. Oh, that's why it's doing that. See where it's positioned?
Mm.
It's at the top. So if I go to its edit mode and bring it down to the base of the plane, there, now it matches my plane. Now that's where it should be. So the position of your object is basically matching the height position of your object is matching the Z position of your plane. So the
Okay.
Z. So if I pull it down, what would happen if I pull it in? Oh, it took it from this position originally, so it's sticking with that. All right, yeah, that works right about this. Keep it. Now go back to object mode. There we go. So you can bring it. So this is a nice little quick little way. And if you notice, we randomized the size. We can randomize the rotation and make them look like to take out any type of consistency in here. So go back to the plane itself. Pull it back down. Transform, randomize here, randomize rotation, offset rotation. So probably do something like on the y-axis. Let's see if we're getting a little bit. There we go. It's happening. It's happening slowly.
Mm.
All right. If we go to the x-axis, go in either direction or the other direction. Yeah, give them all a different look. Okay. And don't forget, we got the randomize there. You can play around with that. We got the flipping too in the randomize. I forgot to play with that one. So we got the flipping. Let's say this is going to be the x-axis. That helps. I think that's what the seed is doing, right? So the seed is basically doing that, but you know. So with one rock, you can do all of this, make it look like they're all dissimilar. And that's it, right? With one rock. So, and there was something I wanted to show you guys with the array too that I forgot. Let me come over here and bring in a plane. So I'm going to bring in a plane. Shift A, bring in a plane. This is gonna be fun. Like you're gonna make a deck of cards or something, right?
Oh.
All right, so we go to here and let's just go to your scale and just bring it up like that. Deck of cards, okay.
Make it card shape.
Yeah, kind of a card shape. Go over to here, get those points, Control Shift B for bevel points. Give it a little bit of a rounded edge like so. Get out of here. Let's go ahead and give this a modifier of, I think you know what? Solidify.
Give it thickness.
Here we go. Give it some thickness. All right. And we'll do that. All right. So then for the array, we need to put an array modifier to this. So now go to the new array. We're going to add about, let's say, 15. You want it on the x-axis or the z-axis, sorry. So 15. And get it off the x-axis, 0 here. Go to the z-axis, give it 1 there. Okay. Now, it's something I didn't show you before. Actually, I showed you, but I didn't talk about it. Is you got this little widget here. All right. Mm-hmm. If I move it up, I can play with the this, the offset, right?
For the widget. With the
All right. If I can also hit the little resize box here. So if I move it up to here, the resize box here resizes them as you go differently as you go up. See?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also use the rotation. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like so. Okay. So I'm going to bring it back down. What I want to do is I want to offset the rotation on the z-axis. So I'm going to go undo again. So they're sitting directly on top of each other. Randomize and go to the z-axis for the rotation. And then you can get that nice little randomized rotation stack. You can do the same thing for randomizing the offset on the X like that, or randomizing the Y a little bit like that. If you want to do like a deck of cards, it's kind of randomized sitting on top of each other.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, that's what I forgot to mention. Let's see. Let's see what else. I'm gonna go back to my Word file. We've got curved tube. Yes. All right. So.
Oh yeah.
Curve the tube. Gotta have curved the tube. I don't want to do that. I want to just turn these off. I'll go up here and just turn these off. So the plane, turn that off, and turn that one off too. All right, here we go. Let's bring in a curve. We can keep it right there. So Shift A, curve, Bezier curve. I go to the top view here, period key to zoom in close, edit key here, grab that point, E for extrude, pull it out, E for extrude again and pull it back this way. I go to the other side, E to extrude, pull it here. I'm gonna go to my tweak option right over here, or hit the W key, I think it is, allow you to toggle through all those various options. So tweak means I can select it and move it automatically. Select that and select the handle. Oh, my proportional editing's turned on. Turn it off. All right, so now we'll go to tab key, go back to object mode. So I just played around with the sizing. In fact, let's go back to edit mode. Go grab that point there and just move it up like this. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so here, go to my modifier. Let's see this instances, randomize. Okay. So modify curve to tube under general. There. So by default, it's in the rounded mode here. Go to the scale, make it bigger, make it smaller. You can add caps on the end, which I have selected already. If I unselect that, you have no caps on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Caps on the end for now. To modify this, just go to edit modes, select your points and just, replace them, redo whatever you want. So I want to go to the handles here and kind of stretch it out, play with the slack. Okay. And then we can add other shapes. So we'll go back to object mode, and the shapes that you add to this they all have to be curves. So if I go to Shift A and go to my curve, and then I'm going to go to there are my what's the section for my curly simple? There you go, simple there. My primitives right there under simple. I've got a circle, ellipse. You know what would be easier? This will be easier. I'm going to do this instead. Let me go to my mesh, and what have I got in here? I should have an option for extras.
Yeah.
And this simple star, I think that could work. Let me click that. There's a simple star. All right. Cool. It's exactly what I want. I'm just going to bring it up here. Just bring it off to the side a little bit. All right. I'm going to go inside there. And I'm going to basically just delete these points on the top. So go to my X-ray mode, the one key on the keyboard, grab these faces on the top, X vertices. So it should leave me that face there.
Yep.
Okay. So object mode there. Right click, set origin to geometry. It makes it dead center.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so this is good. So now I'm gonna go back to edit mode, and all I'm gonna do is select the edges. So edge editing mode, double click these edges. That's all I want. And I'm gonna inverse this. Control I to select the interiors. X and delete all of those edges there. So it leaves me just that edge.
Right.
All right, so if I got the edge, so if I go to face editing mode, there are no faces, right? There's only an edge. So once here in object mode, right click, convert to what? Convert to curve. Now I got a curve. Okay.
Yeah.
It's no longer geometry.
You can do a lot of things with that curve.
Oh yeah. So that curve, I can replace this smooth tube look with that star.
Mm-hmm.
So with the tube selected here, and I want to go to custom right here.
Yes.
What object? I want the star. Actually, what is that called? I forgot what it was called. Let me go down. Maybe it is. There it is. Star. It's called
There it
star.
is.
Click it, and there you should start.
Yeah.
Get out of X-ray mode. Get this out of, let's see, right click. And where's my shade smooth, shade flat? Okay. It's a curve, so it's that shading problem it's having there. But basically, you're giving it a different shape. All right. I guess the only thing I've got left, just I wanted to share, was the compositing tab. I know that Carm wants to come on and share something as well. So Carm, let me give you the link. I put it in there before that, but I forgot that for people who come on to Twitch who are new, you may not see that link. So let me go grab it for you to jump on live here. I'll just copy and paste it from where I placed it up here. Yep, to share live. All right. There you are. So to share live, come on and jump on board. That's it right there. There's a lot more in Blender 5 that's new that I've not covered.
Yeah, and some interesting quirks I ran into. Like I ran into one just while you're doing your demo.
Now, did you want to share anything, David?
I just basically I put up some stuff as backup. If but I want to see Carm's progress if I can.
Yeah. Well, if he comes on, we're still waiting for him to come on. So if you want to, I'll share your screen and let you go, and then when Carm comes on, we can share his.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and I'll start to share your screen.
Uh-huh.
There you go. All yours.
Now, just one thing to remember. Now, when I imported my settings over from 4.5 to 5, some of them ported over, some of them did not. Case in point, this Bezier curve right over here. This was, normally set to by my default, I set it to linear. By default, though, it is set to
curve, I think. Bezier curve.
Yeah, Bezier curve. So that's something you may want to do it. Remember in some of the classes that you you forced me. One of the things that you had, one of the defaults that you had me change was to change the Bezier to linear. And that was very important on this particular exercise right here, because, one of the things I found out in, let me go into layout here.
So and by the way, the shortcut for that is the T key on your keyboard.
Oh, okay.
To access those various options.
Uh-huh. So anyway, one of the issues I had with one of my previous setups that I had, it was this thing over here. I have in my 4.53, I have this, what it's supposed to look like right here. When you hit this, when you hit the timeline, to help if I hit the right timeline, and maybe I want to go into. This is going to make it look weird, but bear with me, because I am too playing around with cycles. I got two globes here, and what I'm doing is I'm transferring these globes. I'm rotating these globes over to and let's see, get into geometry. I'm rotating these globes with these transforms over here. They're tied to the timeline. Now, originally when I saw this, I thought that there was something. I didn't know what was going on. It took me a comparison between this, and I'll go over to here. The geometry nodes here, and you can see the difference right away over at the transform geometry at nodes. For some reason in 4.5, I had the timeline tied to rotation. Well, somehow in the translation, it got in the translation, it got moved from rotation to, it's going to sound odd, translation. So I had to go in 5 get back over there. And I had to delete these because I'm not using them. And I had to reestablish the rotation again in my in these transformation geometries. And I remember in some of the briefs I heard on new stuff on 5 that there was not only has there been a great deal of modifications of the geometry nodes and how they behave, but more importantly, they've messed around with the timeline.
Right.
And so now things that all the settings that should be here have jumped up to here for some reason, and I can't quite figure that out. And I'll leave that to somebody smarter than I am to explain to me about that. But you can see over here in the translations, all the translations are where is it? All the translations have this ramp that goes from, I think this is like, well, actually it's like 260 all the way down to here, which is 0, 239. I can't, for some reason it isn't letting me. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, it's gone from, the changes have gone from here, 6.2, 28 millimeters, which I have no idea where it's getting that number, down to 0. Before, in the 4.5, it was going from, and I'll stop this. It was going from 360 all the way down to 0. But it was translation was originally set to all zeros. So what I had to do is to go into here and, of course, zero this out. And that's not enough. I also have to go in here and...
So it was messing with your translation?
Yeah. So what I had to do is I had to clear the keyframes here because, that's not useful to me. Go over to here. And of course, I have to set the base keyframe. That's a given. So I'll go to 0. And I'll go over here and say, well, I don't even have to do the whole thing. I can just do, oh, come on. I can just do insert single keyframe, which just does that. And go over to here and set the second value, which is going to be 0, and just insert a single keyframe there. And supposedly you can see, whoops. You can see that, this is good enough. For one of them, I have 2 of them. This is the second one. This is the first one. That everything now is back in its proper place. If I, let's go over here. Find out if I click on this and then I hit the space bar, then it works. The space bar works. That's been one of the problems I've had all these years. And you can see that but you could also notice one other problem I had. and that is my when you look at the curve here. Let's see if I can get this down.
And that was all transformed outwards.
See, this is set as a Bezier curve. So now what I have to do is go over to here, and I go down here to the active F curve, and I go all the way over to active keyframes. Look where it's set. Bezier. Gee whiz, I thought I fixed that as my default, but I didn't. I have to go back and set this to linear.
Yeah, but when you change your default, you have to save. Did you save? Go to your defaults. Save your defaults after the fact.
Not when during the initial start. No.
Right. Yeah, you probably didn't. Therefore, so it resets back to Blender's default.
Yeah, but I always got the impression, though, when you import all your settings, that it was supposed to save the settings as your default. Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, you save that as your so you export it. Well, you're not really exporting it out. You're saving it as a blend file.
So that might be a fault in Blender. I'm not sure.
That could be.
Mm-hmm. Now, so
but I do know that Blender 5 is no longer backwards compatible with previous versions other than 4.5, particularly 0.54.
Yeah.
So any and I don't know what when you this version the version of Blender that you originally created it in, what version was it?
This originally created this as I updated this to 4.5.
4.5. So that was okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I would like to see you just recreate this in 5 and see if it's going to be the same workflow. It should be.
Yeah. If I recreate it though, I'm going to use the see, I took the 4.5 file that I made, and I imported it and I brought it into 5, and this is what and it pulled this shenanigans on me.
Right. So you went to 5 and you opened the file.
And to fix this problem here, which is this guy sticking out here, it's just a matter of wash, rinse, repeat.
Okay.
I go into here and I zero all this out. I take away the keyframes.
Yeah.
And I go over here to I go over here to 0, and I establish a single keyframe. I'm going to do single keyframes since it eats up less data. Go over here to 250.
That's interesting.
Where's 250? Oh, come on.
You can use
I know there's a way that I can just go in here and just.
You can use your arrow keys on your keyboard. That'll go frame by.
Yeah. Okay, I'm at 250. Go back to here again. Set that value to 0. Go over to here and say insert single keyframe, and now everything should work. We will see. Oh, I almost forgot. And where am I? Come on,
And
David.
then we've got Carm coming on in about 2 minutes. He's already here, by the way.
Yep.
Yep, Carm is there.
But anyway, you get the picture.
Okay. All right.
Take it away, Carm.
Hi.
Hey, so Carm, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't have much to show. It's not even that heavy graphics, but how do I sound? Is this okay?
You're
So-
fine.
You're
Okay.
fine.
You got 15 minutes.
That's more than I'll ever need. Let's see. Share. Share screen.
All right, let me take
Share screen.
Glenn off stage.
Screen one. Allow. There we go.
There it is. Good. We're bringing on Carm now. There you are. You are
Yep.
live. Full screen.
Let's see.
Real code for a change.
What's that?
Some
Hang on.
real
Let me
code
turn
for
you
a
up. I
change.
can barely hear you.
I said some real code for a change.
For a change. I've been at this for a long time.
I've been doing all this Node stuff for the longest time.
Oh, I
Carm,
see.
you know. I haven't gotten into C code and gone almost months, maybe years. I'm starting to lose my edge.
I might not be able to run my program right now because I have it torn apart. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it's missing end if. Oh, that's fine. I'll just comment this out.
there you go.
I know you can't hear it.
Nice.
You guys have seen this stuff already, right?
Yeah, but it's always cool to look at it every once in a while.
Okay, so it's the level select screen. Now, right now, what I'm doing is I got the bombs on ropes, and I can drop them, and then it comes up and drops off another rope. This is a cluster bomb. This is like a rare thing in the real game, but right now they're common. Seems to be slowing down.
How else are you going to demo them if you don't make them common?
What's that?
How else are you going to demo them if you don't make it a common occurrence, at least in test?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not going to be super rare. Basically, the current plan is, do you ever play Marble Madness?
Long time
Remember
ago.
when there was like a secret square, you went over the square and then it gave you extra time?
Mm-hmm.
So like in this game, if you clear or destroy one of the secret squares, you get the cluster bomb as a reward.
Oh.
And so this is a liquid nitrogen bomb, by the way. It makes things cold. Let me go over here and reveal my turrets. Do the same over here. And now what happens is, as soon as I let go, they're going to start firing. Oh, I crashed. Splash move. Well, I'll have to deal with that later because I'm working on so much stuff right now. Let me just show you the recording. I mean, you can look at the link too. This is back when it was working better. Let's see. This was a collision test. You can see it's bouncing off the blocks, and then when it hits the
Cool.
blocks too hard, it blows up or breaks. And you can see that the liquid nitrogen splashes on the blocks, and also it makes them cold like that. See the fog coming off the block?
Mm-hmm.
Nice splash effect. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to show right now. I'm tearing it apart because while what you're seeing here looks pretty good, the collisions only work in specific kinds of configurations. Like if they're isolated blocks like this, collisions work really well. But if they're like bunched up together, it doesn't work so well. That's why I'm completely redoing the collisions.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is to freeze those things and get rid of them?
The standard bombs will shatter the glass blocks. The standard bombs will destroy the turrets. The freeze bombs will temporarily freeze the turrets, so then you can drop a regular bomb on them.
Okay.
And there will be a chemical bomb, which you haven't seen yet. But the main goal is to drop a bomb squarely down the middle, the bottom of the well. A standard bomb, drop one down there, and that will win the round.
Okay.
And there will be an object down there that will explode with a pre-rendered animation. And I was also thinking that while the game is fancy and flashy and fun to play, I think it needs a little more character appeal. So I was thinking I would take an old character and brush him up and use him like a mascot in the game. I was thinking about this guy. Put some fur on him, rig and animate him, and he could be like your tutorial guide guy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will help.
Everybody likes a cat.
What's that?
Everybody likes a cat.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking he could say, being a cat, I know all about destroying things.
Uh-huh.
And, he'll basically tell you how to use the bombs and all that stuff.
And all cat owners know that secretly their cats are actually smarter than them in some respects. After all, you don't have cat owners, your staff. Simple as that. And so, having a cat is a wise familiar, so to speak, if you want to use the Halloween term or the Wiccan term for it, because I'm catching up on Wicked this week, but cats are good. Cats make good instructors.
I don't have a cat right now, but I've owned them in the past.
And trust me, you're going to get a lot more attention in the game if you have a cat or even a dog. Personally, I prefer cats. Then it's going to add to your appeal of the game because you're striking into the into a passion that a lot of players have.
Yeah, I think it just needs some character. Even though I think the game stands well on its own. I mean, it's going to be fun when it's working. But just as far as like when they're scrolling by the game, if they see just a bunch of blocks or they see a cat with a fun-looking personality, I think that will draw their attention more.
Mm-hmm.
I sculpted him in ZBrush, and he needs to be retopologized and stuff, so he's pretty raw still.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff with fur and rigging, teeth, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where that's where Blender really needs a good demesher type of thing that ZBrush has, but Blender I think is
I usually
Yeah,
use
But
and I'm not
Lightwave for
talking
that.
about the one you buy. I'm talking about something default, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
no,
But
Blender has it in there.
it's
Anyway,
not.
that's all I got for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's great. I love the cat.
Thank
I
you.
want to see some fur on the cat.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have fur.
Mm-hmm. Well,
My
there's a way to add fur to any animal in Blender, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Lightwave has it too. I just haven't done it yet. I mean, he's not done modeling it. He's only a head and a neck.
Yeah. But I know Blender can do it because a lot of my some of my friends, they're VTubers, they're main characters. Some of them are furries, and they do some remarkable fur on using Blender, so it can be done. In fact, that might be a good point for your. Oh, darn, I can't think today. It might be a good point of one of your lessons in your character class, because I know
Okay.
you're probably going to at least do hair, so that's about the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be using Lightwave to finish him off.
Yeah, you're like me, whatever works.
Yep. So that's it for me.
Cool. Thank you.
I like it.
That's
What's that?
great.
Keep it up.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Yeah, that's great. Hit the V key. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. One last thing I should probably show. I'm still
Okay.
experimenting with this aspect.
I'm just seeing a black screen. Are
I
you
know.
showing something right now?
I'm going over to StreamYard to say show my screen.
Okay.
Let me see. Where are we? There we go. Share my screen. Actually, I still sharing screen for some reason. It's telling me add to stage. That's all I need to do. Cool.
There you go.
All right, cool. So, all right, this is ridiculous, but anyways, I am in. This is the layout here. Let's go back to modeling. It's thinking. Okay, so here's my trees. Let's get out of here. Go to object mode. There we go. There's my trees with the rocks. Now, there's a compositing update in Blender 5, which is a nice improvement. And there's also a lot of brush updates too for painting and sculpting in Blender. We'll cover that next time. But if I come up here to the top, you'll see my tabs up here. Alt, left click, and drag will show me more tabs over to the right side. One of them is the composite tab. If I click on that, you're going to get a compositing layout that's has a little extra added stuff. In addition to the timeline, you have these little things up here, these little icons up here, which are like previews or presets for your scene. So this is a render. You have to kind of hit your F12 to render your scene. Then it shows up here. To make your background image bigger or smaller, it's the V key to make it smaller on your keyboard, and then Alt V makes it bigger. Okay, Alt V, V key, Alt V. Okay, will set the background image. And then here, say for example, I want to change it to a sepia tone, and I click this. All right. Add that as a node group like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And now you got yourself a sepia style image. All right. Pull that on out of here. So basically, pull this one out of here. Just kind of delete that. Split toning. That was split toning, wasn't? No, this is split toning. Split toning here, image to image, and then image over here to those. Now you got a split toning technique, which is utilizing two colors. So maybe I'll take this one and go to green. You see the highlights go to green, while your lower values, I think it's going more toward the bluish. Maybe I'll turn that to red. You can see it went red in some of the shadows back here. Alt V. Okay. So if I hit the F12 key, it's rendering my scene. There you go. Then it's applied. There you go. Just finished the split toning. So you got, so just these little things here. There's another little feature in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it here, but I'll give it a try. Let's add in, let's do this. Maybe I can do it this way. Let's add in over in the modeling tab. I think this will help it to work. I'm going to add in some glowing orbs. So shift right click, put my point here. Shift A, I'm going to go ahead and add in an icosphere. Make it smaller. Something like this. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and just move it over here in the tree section. Control A, rotation and scale. Give it a new texture, which I'm gonna come over here to the right-hand side. It's easier. Give it a new texture and give it the texture of red, a red color. And then in addition, we're gonna go over to the emissions, give it the same red color. Hover over the red color for the base color, Command or Control, actually Control C, and then hover over the color for the emissions and Control V. Okay. Increase my emissions up high so it starts to glow like so. Duplicate this, so Shift D, put one there, and we need to change that texture. That number 2 to the right side of materials means it's using the same texture. Click it to be a unique texture and change that to something like a deep blue like this. And then Control C, Control V. Oops, what did I just do? Let's undo that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of weird. What did I do? All right. So
This is being slow.
maybe it's being slow. Kind of weird. Let me go to my substance. See, this is all grayed out. It's kind of odd. And let's go over here to my emissions here. There. It's working, but it's grayed out. So there's a bug in here. It's working, and it's blue. It went blue. It's kind of bring up. See, yeah, see, it's working.
Yeah.
Really weird, really bizarre. That's a little bit of a bug in there. Okay, so go to the first icosphere, do one more. So Shift D again, bring it over to here, put it right about there. Come up here to the top of the window where it says 2 next to materials, click it so it becomes its own unique material. Come on down to the, I'll do it this way. Come down to the emissions, which is here. make it green. There it is. And I'll come to here, Control C, go to the top. And Control V. All right, so there's a bug in here. It's doing something kind of weird. But anyways, okay. So if I render this now, which I will do, hit the F12 on the keyboard. And this is it here. So let's give it a quick minute. Let it render. So you got to let it render first before your composites will work. There it is. Okay. Updating. There we go. Okay. Still working. You can watch these numbers up here. Okay, it's done now. Okay, so those are my globes there. All right, let's move this to the side. Go to my compositing tab, Alt, grab this, bring it on over. Go over to composite. There they all are. Okay. Hitting the V key to go back like so. So we've got something in here called I think it's the glare node. It's new. It's got an update. So Shift A, going from memory here. Okay, there it is. Glare. Drop it in. There we go. So we got the stars on there. If I get in close to this node, we got streaks, bloom, right? And the new one, now you got streaks, bloom, fog glow, which is the traditional one that we use for get that little bit of a glow around the trees.
Yeah.
So if I go to, let's go to Alt V, kind of go coming this way. Now you've got simple star, which you can come over here and change. Pull this on up. No, that's annoying. Right, the number of stars, right? The iterations. But the new one that it has added in here, bring this on down, is sunbeams. Click it. This is the brand. It got sunbeams now. So Alt V on V. It got sunbeams.
Yeah, that'd be useful.
Play around with the size of the beams. Or the length. It has size. I really should say length. Yeah. So if I had a bunch of these in there, I could it'll flare outward. See this little, you can tell the direction of flare by moving that little crosshairs manually. So if I go to strength, let's see its size, let's go move it like that. Yeah. So now.
Yeah, that would be great for like the spot eyes of a alien creature or spacecraft.
Yeah,
like a spacecraft.
Another way of creating like a volumetric lighting effect. But the problem is this is happening everywhere, right? It's happening globally. So wherever you have illumination in your scene, it's going to create that effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sizing. So some pollution, check this out. So we got other options here. Some pollution, say no pollution. So it's clean, right? So it's there's less diffusion. So, and so it's cleaner edges, more pollution. So you're getting a little more, edge diffusion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what this does down. That's just position. I'm sorry, I said pollution. I misread that. I'm looking at something else. I meant position. Jitter. See what that does. There we go. See that? There's adding noise in there. It's adding noise. The higher the jitter, the more noise. Let me see if I go to V. Yeah, see, there's more noise in there. Hit the N key to make that go away. And then less noise. See that? You see what it's doing?
Yeah.
Sun position. This bottom one. And all the noise is in there from the jitter. Take the jitter down. Less noise is still there, but much smaller in size. And of course, we can manually So yeah, that's a fun one. That was one of the big one of the nice changes. And now what this does is it messes up something else. Now I'll show you what it messes up. Let me get rid of this node here and just reconnect the original render to the output. Okay, so that's my output. So it messes up one of my nodes that's annoying me. So if we go back over to our modeling, okay. And if I go over here to render view, so Z key, there we are. I'm in render view. There we are. And I'm also going to go back to object mode here. Let me bring down that background light. All right. So go, instead of object, go to world view. Let's take the strength of the HDRI light. Maybe go in half, like 0.5. Yeah, it's a little bit darker in the background. We'll go to 0.3. There we go. So there was a feature inside of Blender under my render options called glare controller. If I click this and then click on, enable, it's kind of broken in 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got this sampling, the viewport. Let me see, let's bring down the viewport. Now this is something else. Sampling is something different. This is not part of glare node. All those extra features in the glare node are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Broken.
I think it's because you put in the let's see, what was that node that you put in? The glare, the glare node,
right? And but it's natively part of Blender. The glare node in the composite section. I believe this was a free download. I thought. I think check on yours right now. Check in your Blender. Go to your edit menu. Go to your preferences, and then go to add-ons.
I just killed everything.
Just put in glare up here and see if it's there. And see if glare is called glare controller.
Yeah, it's in 4.5. I know that.
Yeah. So it's broken that.
And if I remember right, that was somebody had created that. And I think if you went into edit,
glare controller was initially created by somebody else, and then Blender integrated it.
Yeah.
And now it's broken. So I go back to 4.5. Like I'll show you. I'll go to 4.5. Let me save this real quick. And we'll just come down here. I'll go to 4.5. I'll show you what it looks like. Blender 4.5. We'll open that up. And I love that. I mean, I can see the glare effect in Psychos or EV inside the preview panel while I'm
Oh,
working.
yeah. A lot of people did love that feature.
Yeah, I love that. But now it's broke. so I'm assuming they're coming out with an update, and they just haven't done it yet. All right, here we'll go. We'll throw down just some quick little simple plane for the floor. Let's give that plane, give it some here, give it a new texture preview. That's not my preview, on my surface. Just give it another color. First, let's go to material view. There we go. Give it a quick little color. We'll give it kind of a brownish color here. Yeah, okay, that works. Go ahead and apply scale. All right. And from here, let's just go ahead and put in some globes. So Command A, mesh, go to icosphere. Let's make it a little smaller like that. Okay, and all transforms. Pull that to there. Shift D, pull it to here. Shift D, pull it to here. Okay. Grab that new material, make it blue. Make that one. That's a new material. Make this one. That's interesting. That's blue. Make that one green. And grab that one. New material. Make it red. All right. Now down here, go to emissions. We'll just make this red. Give it a high emissions. But in order to see this, I need to be in render mode here. Okay, so now that's starting to, you can see it's reddish down here in the bottom because it's starting to illuminate this down here. Okay, go to this one. What is this one? This was green. Make it green. And then bring up the emission. Okay, and go to this one here. This is going to be blue. Change the emission color to blue. Bring up the emission intensity. Okay, all right, now here, enable the glare. Now right here, see this large bar? It says insert and control the glare. That's missing in 5. It's completely missing in 5. So
I'll experiment with that.
I'm in Cycles. What was that?
I'm going to have to experiment with that.
Experiment with that. As far as I can tell, it's just broken. When they put in their new glare controller features, it messed this one up somehow. That's the only thing I can figure out. So when I click it, boom, see? I'm in my regular viewport. So I can go streaks. I can go ghosts. I can go fog glow, right? And low glow, right? And I can, it's all showing here.
Yeah.
All my glows, which is nice. I like that, but it's broken 5, and so I'm hopefully they're going to fix that. I hope. If let's see, Control Alt Option, hit the 0. There we go. There we go. Kind of bring that on in. The camera, I've got the camera set up to point at an empty in here. So I'm going to bring it up. Oh, come on. There we go. What's the matter with you? Come on. Oh, I'm going underneath. Okay, go get the empty up here. Show all this empty right there, and that brings up the camera. That's nice. So if I hit that render command F12. Oh, I didn't change anything. So loading denoise and all that stuff. Okay, so the reason it's taking a little bit longer than I expected is because in this render mode, I probably have, where's my sampling is here. I've got, that's 30, that should be fine. I'm gonna change it to 20. It'll just make it faster. And what you can also do is that's the next icon down, the output, looks like a inkjet print. I can say, come over here and say, okay, the output is going to be, I go to the top, 1920, but I only want half, right? So only 50% of that. So that'll help things move a little faster too. So F12, and there it is right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes I like that better because I get a quicker preview.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's it, guys. So we went over a little bit,
Yeah.
and everybody's us too. Must be liking it. So yeah, I'll tell you what, maybe next time, maybe next week we'll do something on AI in Blender.
Okay.
Right? It's nice AI workflow in Blender. It might be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Thank you all for being here. This is great. And I so far the plan is to be here next Saturday. Next week is Thanksgiving, but I don't see everybody being out of town for Thanksgiving. So I think
you're afraid of flying.
I would
Are we
be
going to
too.
get out? Yeah, particularly out here at SeaTac at SeaTac Airport.
Right.
One of the fuel lines, the airport, got damaged, and so they may be rationing fuel out here.
Oh wow, you're kidding me.
I mean, and that's on top of all the other BS that we've had to put up with flying, with the shutdown and all.
Right.
We now have a chunk of pie. Believe it or not, the airport's on the south side of Seattle. This happened in Euless. I think no, not Euless, but where's Boeing headquartered? It was up there. It was, it actually happened like 20 or 30 miles away from where the airport's at. And
Right.
It's just crazy that all the fuel, because I guess we get all our fuel pumped in from Canada.
Huh. And
We get a lot of things from Canada because they have they have more dams, I guess, than we do. But
it's like when I when I do a flyover stop in Minnesota, it's like the state with 10,000 lakes. There's nothing but water everywhere. It's like, God, they'd have no problems with water over there.
Can't you see the lakes? There's one there, one there, one there, and all this water between them.
Yeah. So Mandala, he's just jumped in. Let's see, what does Mandala have to say? Yeah, my mom and brother don't want to fly to Vegas like we were planning there. I don't blame you.
No, don't.
Dude, just drive to Vegas. This is so damn close.
Well, the trouble with Vegas these days,
Death Valley is the same amount of time as Las Vegas. It's 6 hours exactly.
Yeah,
and I drove to Death Valley.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because Las Vegas has gotten very hawkish in terms of hitting you with all these hidden free fees in the hotels. It's not cheap to go to a Vegas hotel anymore. They charge you even for parking.
He says, if I remember, he doesn't drive, but I figured your mom and brother drives. I figured the whole family's going, right? Or maybe it was just you and your mom, but there's somebody in your family who drives. Uh-huh. Don't want to take Uber to Vegas. That would be quite expensive.
I would avoid Vegas like the plague. I
And
had
there
kind of
is,
hate to say that, but
but then we're building that bullet train right now to go to Vegas, right? Vegas, I guess Vegas to LA.
oh
It's
yeah,
not coming to San Diego.
yeah. When Sanity comes back to America, hopefully, hotels in Vegas will be cheap again. But I've heard some people like stay 1 or 2 nights, paying $30 for a McDonald's burger and paying like $400 a night for a room.
Well, right now Vegas is dirt cheap because
Huh?
the tourism is so bad in Vegas right now that
Uh-huh.
hotels are dirt cheap right now.
But they're adding all these hidden fees.
They all hotels do.
That's the problem. Is that they're adding the hidden
Listen,
fees.
I've got friends in Vegas. I got 2 friends and an uncle in Vegas, so I stay
I
with
have
them.
friends in Vegas too.
We have no problem. We just go there, to sleep for free.
Just go to go to your cousin, go to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Crash on the couch for a night. You're living off of their courtesy.
Mandela says there are more fees in Vegas, and that's true, particularly on the Strip. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they're trying to find. I don't know. I think Vegas started messing up when they started charging for parking.
Well, I think
Parking always-
Parlap. I think the community. I think Parlap is very cheap because unlike the Strip, in fact they're advertising saying, "Hey, we're cheaper than the Strip. Come to Parlap, gamble here." And
he says it's $20 for a 16-ounce of bottle of water. Where is that? I never
Vegas.
heard that. That's in Vegas?
That's in Vegas. That's part of the craziness that's going on over there.
What?
It's almost gotten that bad here in Silverdale. We don't have a casino. Breakfast. You know what? I went to McDonald's. I had a Egg McMuffin.
I won't be eating at McDonald's.
I had an Egg McMuffin. I had a hash brown, and I had a soda. It was $10.
Yeah.
I went over and ate at what was it? Dairy Queen the other day, and just 2 or 3 simple items was $20.
No, I'm sorry. I'm an ice cream snob. I will not be eating at Dairy Queen.
I wasn't there for the ice cream. I was just there for a burger. I hadn't had a burger in like
Dairy Queen for a burger. I'm sure you got plenty of nice places where you live that has fantastic burgers. You need to get out of the house, dude. You need to get away from these freaking fast food restaurants. Where you live, there's good places to eat out there. Go find them. They eating at McDonald's.
I go to Costco. I can get a hot dog for $1.
No, listen to you, Costco. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. You know what? You and I are not going to anywhere fast food ever. If we ever get together, we're going to nice places.
Well, hopefully, as much time as it took me to get down to San Diego and to meet you, you kind of figure that, if we're going to spend some quality time, we're going to have nice food.
Quality food. Because my dad's a chef. I'm not eating any crappy food. Ask Mandela. He knows. We go out to dinner all the time. We only go to good restaurants. Not that crappy mess that will destroy your kidneys and your body in general.
Yeah, well, I got to talk to the Navy to assign me to work out there.
Yeah. So do that. Get a transfer.
Yeah, I wish. I'm just trying to get a job.
So we'll do something in AI next week for Blender. I haven't shown it. I've been teaching my AI classes, but I haven't been showing it on Twitch.
I had a few things that I did for experiment for there. One was I did with chat, what they call Open Chat, GPT, I think.
Yeah.
With they advertise they advertise that they had this phrase that you could put in there with a picture of yourself, and it turns you into an action figure. complete bubble wrap, and I did that.
People are
But,
doing
yeah.
that all over the place.
I wrote a paper this week, though, that I sent over to Morgan Stanley about that, because everybody says that we're at the AI bubble has burst.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it will. I mean, it's and you can see it. It's obvious because everybody's coming out with an AI, and everybody wants $20-$30 a month.
Yeah. And they went to me about it because I don't work for any of those companies. You see, I'm a freelance independent, so they think they can hit me up, and I'm more subjective. Which
Yeah.
I tried.
Mandala says if AI is a bubble, it hasn't burst yet. It will. AI getting better and better. AI can get better. Like right now with 2-dimensional imagery, AI has got that down. With 3D, it's still in its infancy.
Well, I'm still writing my robot game, my robot game. So if AI, if the bubble hasn't burst on AI, that's all better for me in the long run.
Yeah.
But I truly do believe the AI let's put it this way. You and I know what AI is. It's a fancy tool, and it will, and to that, it's to our benefit. Everybody's talking about AI taking over our jobs.
Right.
And I even had people come up to me and says, "Well, David, I don't have any work for you anymore. We're going to make a machine do it for it." And I say, all the power to you. Because, quite honestly, the more they deal with AI, and I'm studying a lot of AI and machine learning, concepts at the moment. Through Epic Mega Games, they got an AI built into that now.
Yeah.
And the more people want to hire me on the hype, all the better. I don't mind. I can use some lunch money.
So these
I want to travel more.
Like these concepts I'm showing now were done in an AI program. I'll put in a prompt. They give me a 3/4 view, a top view, a front view, and a side view of a starship or a fighter, and it's giving me stuff like this. So like some of this, I mean, I'll do a whole bunch of these, right? But then I'll take these and kind of mold them together into something that I might want to use.
So what did you use to make this?
I used Google Gemini or Nano Banana.
Yeah, you're gonna crack up when you hear what I use Gemini for. When you go to a restaurant, it's difficult to find out what the carbs that I'm consuming.
Yeah.
And before Gemini, I had to go into Google and do a heap full of research. Now I don't have to do that anymore. One of the things that Gemini added to Google is a consensus engine. Mm-hmm. It gives you a consensus of all the people who have ever commented on that food in terms of carbs, and it'll go up to me and it says, "Hey, this is the consensus of what most people have commented on Google for this, including the carbs for that." And I use that basically to pump my meter, my pump up. So I'm pumping the correct amount of carbs into my pump, and it's worked very well with it. I included that also in my discussion on AI. I don't have there's Copilot, of course. It'll help you a lot in some of these much more difficult programs, including Epic's Unreal, because Unreal is such a nest of functions and stuff, from a programmer's perspective, that if I didn't have Copilot to help me out on this stuff, I'm not going to keep all that stuff in my head. I'm too old.
Yeah.
you're not going to keep stuff in your head because you want to get things done fast. Copilot's there to help you out.
So I was like,
from some of these AI's programs, and yet there's all this talk about, it's going to take everybody's job and everything. And it's like, and from my opinion, AI will never do it because AI will never think like a human being. Never, ever. Because AI will see things from AI's perspective and never from a human's perspective, because there's a lot about being humans.
You got to know you got to know your stuff. Your skill sets have got to be intact.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you're African American, Black, whatever the current terminology is these days. There are things about you that I will never understand being white. And you apply that to AI.
Are we going into the politics area now?
Yeah, slightly, a little bit, but not into the. I'm just trying to strike examples of how a sentient AI would think. They got to stop and think about that for a second, particularly if you're writing science fiction. When you're writing something like Project Red or some of the other, or my video game that I have, you got to think, okay, how's the boss thinking? What's the boss's thinking process? What's the player's thinking of process? What are the other NPCs in the game's thinking process? And it's not usually going to be that of a human. It's going to be something very unique, very foreign to your way of thinking.
My system keeps freezing up, and my brush keeps stopping on me, and I can't get a clean stroke here.
You may just have to cancel everything out and start from fresh.
No, it's Zoom. The Zoom is taking up my graphics card resources, so it keeps freezing up on me, and I can't get a clean stroke. Well, just thinking about how I would break this up, I'll probably start modeling the cockpit first.
But I don't know where politics falls into that. I'm talking about general human nature.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I was basically teasing.
I know. So, I was thinking about basic human nature. You got to remember, my sister's a shrink. One of the things that they tried to push me over at NavAir was to get my master's in psychology, not in computer science, but in psychology. They were 1/3 of my job when I was working at NavAir was to get into the heads of fighter pilots, so I can make a more effective simulation tool for them. One of the big complaints that they had with our nearest competitor, which was Cubic, is you open Cubic up, you open ACS or whatever they call that thing, because it's been so long I don't remember. And it had all these different controls in them and stuff that pilots kind of looked at and they said, no, I'm not going to memorize all this crap. And the Navy kind of recognized, the people at the Navy, the Caltech nerds at the Navy kind of realized that. And that's one of the things that they kind of pounded in my head in terms of, David, don't think like how a programmer thinks. Don't even think like a normal person thinks. We're going to embed you with this palette, and you're going to learn how he thinks, and you're going to design based on that. But anyway, I'm getting into ourselves.
We're getting so overtime that
I'm getting more into self-admiration, self-promotion here, and not and taking you away from your lunch, dinner, or whatever.
Something. So let's see. But Jason made a comment here. Let's see. It is All right, how much to trust the internet consensus from Reddit for your health? Probably research that one out. I also put in I just used my fitness pal nutrition database. Okay. So Jason, I'll give you a call if you want to go to dinner tonight. I can get out of the studio here and go get a change of scenery. Okay, so let's get out of here. We went
You
way
take
over.
care.
We went like 45 minutes over.
Yeah.
Insane.
It was a good subject. And of course, it's a big topic, 5. You can hear a lot of stuff on that.
I'm gonna build one of these little AI ships that I did. I'm gonna, augment it with some of my own ideas, and maybe I'll have something to show you guys next week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll 3D print it.
That'd be
cool.
interesting.
Cool. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here once again.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
And I'm going to end the stream now. So thanks. We'll see everybody next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And